Back inside of Studio 99, I am joined by Whit Ives, Zach Ives, and both of the Jacks. I'm your host, Jake Shelley, and today we're going to be discussing some WBC as well as some spring training action in the MLB. It has been a pretty chaotic first, how many days? Let's see. What's today's date?
Today would be the 12th.
So it'd be 6 days, so almost a week of WBC action.
Pool plays winding up today, I think, right? I think the last two pools finished today.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, let's start off with the big headline. Dominican Republic beat the United States of America 7-5 yesterday in a game that should not have ended in a USA loss. The United States were up 5-0 heading into the 7th inning?
Yep.
Half
of 10.
Yep, that's correct. Heading into the 7th inning, Brandon Crawford had 2 RBIs at this point, an RBI double and an RBI single. Christian Yelich had 2 doubles. Who else did the dirty work for the USA?
Crawford.
Stanton.
Crawford.
Yep, Stanton had an RBI double.
Crawford had an RBI double.
We already talked about him.
Pardon the interruption. I'm sorry.
Shout out to ESPN for that.
Give us a show.
Well, Crawford had an RBI single and an RBI double, so
I
he.
am right.
I mean, I said that, but that's all right.
Did you touch on the error, Adam Jones' error, fly ball, double thing?
Oh, yeah. Was that Adam
They
Jones?
technically- Jones had a fly ball to right center, and
Looked like
Nelson
a-
Cruz
looked like a-
and Starling
They should have
Marte
waved him.
ran into each other. I think they ended up giving it an error, right? And I
They
think
gave it an error on Marte.
which is weird because Cruz was the one who caught it, who then ran into Marte, and the ball popped out. I don't know how you give an error to the guy who didn't even touch the baseball.
I'm going to say...
priority for center
So,
field.
Whit and I were going absolutely bananas today when Nelson Cruz... So there was earlier before we did this podcast, by the time we release this, it'll be a while. Anyway, who cares? The Dominican Republic played Colombia earlier today. Is that game over? Do we know? I think they won. I think...
It's a safe assumption that the Dominican won. I don't know for sure.
Anyway, there was a ball hit in the gap from a Colombian player.
Oh gosh, it's terrible.
And
It's-
Nelson Cruz ran to the ball where the ball was and then ran straight back because his route was so terrible.
I think Nelson Cruz is the worst defensive outfielder I've ever seen.
Did you ever see Adam Dunn?
Fair point. I have seen Adam Dunn. Okay, so I stand corrected. But currently, Nelson Cruz is among the worst I've ever seen.
Well, we can chirp Cruz's fielding all we want, but last night he did something with his bat that was very impressive.
He did. Off of Andrew Miller.
I was trying to avoid this as long as possible
I'm just gonna-
for my friend Jack
I want
Powers.
to just come out and say it. Andrew Miller is in World Series Game 7 form. No, not Game 7.
Yeah, Game 7.
Game 7 form.
You sound so defeated.
So basically, what happened is Nelson Cruz hit 3-run home run, I believe, to
Yeah,
take
well,
a,
let's
to take
do-
a
I
6-5
wa- I wanna-
lead.
I wanna-
breaking down what actually
No. Before
Let
you do
Jack
that,
go.
I will.
Let him
That-
off his leash.
Well, that's part of the segment. We're gonna do that segment coming up soon, but
It's called Off His Leash.
I want to do. I want to kind of build it up to make it more dramatic. So,
Okay,
starting the
all right.
7th inning, Tanner Roark was it?
Roark, yes.
Is that how you say it? Roark?
That is how
Well,
you
that's a
say it.
stupid name, and
He's
he's
a
a.
stupid pitcher.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm.
I've never been a fan of him. You sent to the group. Jack Salmon sent to the group. His ERA is the lowest on the national staff.
Last season.
He's underrated. I said shut up because I hate him. He's not that good.
Because he just shuts down teams like the Padres.
Yeah, like congrats. You're shutting
Dude,
down
I bet
literally a
his
bag
ERA
of
against
garbage.
The Braves and the Phillies was like 1.
Okay, if that's true, then how can he have a lower ERA than Strasburg and Scherzer?
Because Strasburg's out half the time with
Okay,
some.
explain Scherzer then.
Because he pitches against good teams.
Yeah, because
So does this. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so you
It's
can
random who
you
pitch
only
against.
pitch every
5 days.
It's-
5 days. There's
It's-
usually 3-game series.
Because when teams play
Roark's
Scherzer,
like the 4 or
It-
5.
it's
and
not
Scherzer's the
random
1,
who
so
they
they're
pitch
probably-
against.
when they play Scherzer,
Rarely do
they're
they
like,
change the
we gotta bring
rotation
the A game
in the regular
today.
season.
Say what you just said.
When you face Scherzer, you're like, okay, we got to bring the A game today. Their ace is on the bump. Everybody's way more focused than when you're facing Tanner Roark.
Yeah, well, it's like
you're,
this.
You're
No.
a professional player. You're always focused.
So-
No, there is difference. Do you watch any big game when you play a more powerful team or like an opponent? You're more intense and more into it.
Okay, but playing the Nationals the last couple of years, they've been like one of the better teams in the National League. Like
That's
last
why
year,
they're the
they ran away with the
Nationals.
National League East, and the year before they kind of collapsed. And the year before they won the National League East. They've been one of the best. Stop. They've been one of the better teams. You should get pumped up just to play them in general. Yes, playing Scherzer gets you pumped up even more, but you should get pumped up to play a guy like Roark, who you say is a nobody. You should be like, man, we're gonna rake off this kid.
But
We're
we'll
gonna
just
get 10 runs. and then
look
he
at it.
limits them to-
Look at it this way: if you're playing the Braves, if the Nationals are playing the Braves last year without Bartolo and R.A. Dickey,
King Bartolo, by the way.
both both Cy Youngs. Anyway, if the Nationals are playing the Braves in a 3-game series, the first game is going to be Scherzer versus Tehran, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. The second game is probably going to be Strasburg versus how do you say his name? Foltywetsky or something like that.
I know what you're saying. I don't know how to say his name.
Foltywitz, whatever. The guy with the long hair, the weird facial hair. And then the third game is literally sack of garbage versus Tanner Roark. You're going to have more run support, obviously, and you're playing the Braves in the final game of the series where they're probably just sucking. You know, the Braves suck. So, I'm just saying, Tanner Roark, I don't like him as a person.
That's a good point, actually. He gets way more run support, I bet.
Yeah.
That is a really good point.
But run support doesn't affect
yes,
earned
it
run
don't
average.
even give me that. Yes, it
When
does.
you're pitching with a lead, you have much more confidence than you do if you're down by 2 or 1.
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
even a
It
tie
lets,
game.
it lets you feel more comfortable to make mistakes, so you don't try to be perfect on everything.
Sure, but if you're more comfortable, maybe you will make more mistakes.
Well, when
You
you're
don't-
more
you're not- you don't
comfortable
need to
than
be as perfect.
than yourself.
Yeah,
like-
and I mean, if you're more comfortable and you're facing the Braves,
Well,
you know.
I don't know. I'm obviously not a professional pitcher. I
Nor am
pitch
I.
in high school, but I definitely, when I have a 3-0 lead and I go out on the bump in like the third inning, I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm ready to go out there, just relax,
Yeah,
throw
you're
my
not-
stuff, and get outs.
You're not nervous. You're not nervous if you're up a lot, but if it's tied, you're like, okay,
You're already
need
losing.
a shutout inning.
Well, and then you're like, okay, if I make a mistake, I know I got my boys who are hitting well right now
Yeah,
to back me
exactly.
up.
Okay, well, can't this go the other way? You said Roark's not the ace. What if when they play Scherzer, the batters for the other team are real nervous that they have to? They're only going to get one pitch to hit off Scherzer. Against Roark, wouldn't that be the exact opposite? Because he's not the ace. You think he's not as good as someone like Scherzer. You don't have as
Right,
much
but-
pressure on you, which just goes.
No, you're wrong. Just be wrong.
Okay.
You can't back that up.
We're also basing this off of a single season of statistics, so it could have been a fluke year for Roark.
Wait, how
Roark
did
was-
we get this far off topic? We were talking
All right,
about.
can I break down what happened when Miller came in?
No,
Go
not
back
yet.
to the game.
Let
Go
me-
back to
let-
the USA game.
Okay,
Stay on your leash.
we're going back to the USA game. Roark comes in. Manny Machado comes up and says, "Let me take you to the moon real quick,"
Ball has not landed.
and just hit an absolute moon shot. That it was estimated according to Statcast like 460 something, I think.
Wait, Statcast?
No.
435.
Yeah, it was like 435.
Oh.
But it still.
Oh,
was
maybe
like
it was
almost out of
436,
Marlins
and I
Park.
saw the 6 in front of the
Oh.
3. Whatever. Anyway, all I know is a long home run. Then let's see, they got a guy on second base, and the real Slam Tana came up and had an RBI single up the middle.
Yep.
That was 5-2. And then how did they score their next run?
Wellington Castillo doubled,
On a
Oh,
sharp
yes.
line drive.
Yes, and then
so that made the score 5-3.
5-3, and then
Wow.
Andrew Miller came into the game.
No, he started an inning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roark pitched the 6th and 7th, and then
He still came into the
Castillo's
game.
double was in the
Yeah,
7th.
okay.
Then you go to the 8th, and they brought in Miller. to
They
try
brought
and
in
get a
Miller,
6 out.
and the first batter he faces is Jose Bautista. He has
0-2.
he has first great few pitches to him. I think Bautista fouled one off, didn't he? Before he got hit. Anyway, doesn't matter. Jose Bautista gets hit, takes a nice walk down to first base. Then who was up?
Santana, and he hit a ball up the middle. Kinsler made a stop, flipped it to Crawford, and Crawford didn't catch it. It wasn't a perfect flip, but a Gold Glove shortstop's got to make that.
You have to get one out on that.
You have to catch that ball.
Okay.
It wasn't a routine flip by any means.
No, it was
Also,
it was
by
a-
the way,
Crawford.
fantastic play by
yeah,
Kinsler.
Kinsler getting to the ball was an incredible play, and then Crawford has to make that catch. You have to get an out on that. It wasn't an in-catchable ball.
That ball should have been caught.
There should have been
that
one out.
changes
Incatchable,
dynamic
uncatchable,
of the
whatever.
inning.
Uncatchable.
Uncatchable.
But,
then-
you know,
and then-
same difference.
Roast me some more right now.
Strike one to Nelson Cruz. He just missed the slider, but Miller. Nelson Cruz
No.
was sitting slider.
Yeah, he was. And then the
He was
next pitch.
selling out for the slider. If it was a fastball, he was striking out on 3 pitches.
I can stand
He was
by that.
sitting
Yeah.
slider.
And he got it.
Well, he went down 0-2,
He got
and then
it.
Miller went slider, and well.
And Nelson Cruz just yanked it. It was a laser beam. What did Statcast say? Exit velo 109.
It was a frozen rope.
All I
Like,
know
just
is
a
that
line drive.
he hit the ball, and until it landed, it was still going up.
Oh yeah,
So
right down the line.
an absolute rope.
and then at that point, Jack said to the group, he's like, "Good night." 6'5".
I thought Miller was gonna not be that great for the WBC just because like how much he pitched in October versus he didn't have much time to rest. So I kind of hope he doesn't pick up a baseball in the WBC again.
I
He's
mean,
not ready.
I don't know. I can understand how you can overpitch in October and stuff, but it's March and I don't know. I don't expect Andrew Miller to just lose everything that he had. I mean, he was so dominant. He was the game's best closer last year.
He's not a closer. It's an offensive term to him.
He was the best relief pitcher in all of baseball.
Okay. Wow. I'm so
But
sorry.
no, but I agree with Jack.
He's
though.
not a closer.
Coming off pitching the most he ever has and pitching late into October, early November, completely changed probably his off-season routine and how he prepares for the season.
And he had to
And
start
now-
earlier. 'cause
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
WBC.
Now he's starting earlier because he's playing in the WBC, which if you watch that game, by the way, the WBC is awesome. That game at Marlins Park, largest attendance ever at Marlins Park.
That's
That
pathetic. That's pathetic.
That is pathetic, but that felt like a World Series game. The atmosphere was ridiculous.
Oh.
If it was in America, but it felt like a home game for the Dominican.
It was so loud. The players were so the Dominican players were incredibly passionate.
Yeah, so they showed like the camera panned over to down the third base line. There was a row of three. There was 3 rows, and in each of the sections there was like a group of saxophone players, a group of people on drums, and then there were people on like various instruments, and they were all had like sheet music too. I mean, what the heck? That is what baseball's supposed to be. And it reminded me of like a World Cup game. How you always hear the like the air horns.
Vuvuzelas.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what? That's okay. Like,
That's-
it was so fun to watch. Like, it felt like it was obviously a playoff series. It actually reminded me of the Texas Blue Jays
Yeah,
game.
I was just about to say
when
that.
when Bautista hit that absolute bomb with the bat flip. But it was so loud, and you could hear everything, and there were people making weird noises.
You want to know the crazy part about that though? Matt Vasgersian brought it up. He said
Santa Maria.
he said it was one of the loudest games he's ever heard from a baseball game, and Marlins Park had the roof open,
Yeah,
which just tells you how loud it was. Unlike Blue Jays, the Rogers Dome.
yeah.
But Nelson Cruz hits the home run. The dugout empties. They all meet him.
I kind of like that too. Like, 'cause
game-
in MLB games, you don't see people come out of the dugout.
Unless it's, like,
Obviously,
Game 7
yeah,
or-
obviously it doesn't have that much meaning, or if it's like a walk off. But like, we're talking first inning or something like that. If somebody hits a home run, everybody's out of the dugout and is going crazy.
Yeah, the energy and
the handshakes are awesome. Also, what I really liked about last night, they interviewed Adam Jones before the game, and they were talking about Manny Machado, who was playing on the DR team.
Hope he
and
goes over 4.
and yeah, and Adam Jones was, and JP Morosi asked him, he was like, well, how do you hope Manny does? And he was like, honestly, I hope he goes 0 for 4 with 3 errors. He's like, is that probably going to happen? No, but he's like, but he's not my teammate right now. And I just feel like it's kind of hand in hand with the Olympics and the World Cup, but it's more on the World Cup side of things with, how proud you are to be representing your country. And I know it's not a big event, and I know everybody doesn't partake in it, but it was awesome to see the culture surrounding it. And I know I've talked to, we bring up Nick Karski's name a lot, but he back in 2009 went to the pool play in Toronto, and he said I think it was the Venezuela team was there, and he said that they were camped out in the streets playing music for like 8 hours before the game. And just that idea of being so proud to represent your country and be so into it was really cool to see. And yes, I was really pissed that U.S. lost, because I don't think you should blow a 5-0 lead in the 7th inning, especially when you have Andrew Miller and Jake McGee on your team and David Robertson. These are all-star lineups, and they still blew the game.
Don't forget Tanner Roark. I'm joking. I'm sorry.
I mean, the WBC obviously means more to the Latin teams than it does to the American teams.
That's also
true.
So, like, you just see it in the team. Like, come on. Michael Givens on a bullpen for Team USA.
Michael Givens you nothing. Why is he on this team?
Michael Givens is good. He's not bad. But Michael Givens, Tanner Roark, they're
No,
not
like,
our best.
the best players,
The best guys
Trout,
from the Dominican.
Harper, Like, there's a lot of guys from the USA who could be there, and Noah Syndergaard said it for the Mets because he could have been one of the starting pitchers. And he said he was quoted as saying, "Why would I play in the WBC? What do I have to gain from that?"
Yeah, which is sad, and that's kind of like
It's sad that representing the country doesn't mean as much to some of these major league players as it does for like a Dominican Republic team, a Venezuela, a Puerto Rico.
I mean, the only Latin guy who I know who's not playing for his country is Edwin. He's the only one.
And that
But I
would make
understand-
sense
yeah.
on a new team, new organization.
yeah, but like
and the
Syndergaard's
younger
been on
guys.
the Mets for a while now, and
Right.
he's
Like,
and he just
What
turns
about-
down. He's
what
like, I'm
about
not
a-
wasting my
What about a
time.
guy like Bryce Harper in the outfield?
Exactly.
So-
yeah,
What,
what if
about
Trout?
Mike Trout,
What if the
Kershaw?
outfield was left field Chris Bryant, center field Trout, right field Harper?
Yeah.
Because you leave
The game-
Arenado at third.
Okay, and then add this component in there. If the fans were at just like a fourth of excited as the Latin teams are, can you imagine that? Like on both sides,
It's like a NASCAR event.
well, no, that's
NASCAR events get crazy.
yeah, they get crazy, but
That was like
that,
a compliment.
that's a different type of
Crazy.
yeah.
that's
That's like
yeah.
actually psycho.
Yeah,
but,
that's dangerous crazy.
But can you imagine if there was like a group of U.S. fans that did the same thing where they got in 3 rows and were playing music and were going crazy?
I mean, I think part of it is we have the World Series. They don't.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. We have the World Series, but I think the biggest reason is money. The Major League Baseball will not make the same kind of money if their star players get hurt playing in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, one's already down. Prez is down.
Yeah. So let's transition
So-
to
Two
that.
are down actually.
So-
K-Rod's down
K-Rod.
too.
So here's
Talk about giving
here's
the
the
division to the tribe.
you're right.
It was already the tribes.
Yeah. Don't
So here's the problem that the World Baseball Classic has for American players. They're making the good ones, the ones you want to see playing in the World Baseball Classic, are making so much money on their respective MLB teams that if they get hurt, there's a chance they don't make that kind of money. Their career's in jeopardy, contracts are in jeopardy, and they lose so much money.
Yeah,
but
but
that
they
can also
already
happen
have.
in spring training.
Yeah, but also
It can happen in
Okay, but if
Yeah,
you're
but
good
spring
enough,
training's different.
if you are,
It's still a competitive.
if you're on the USA team and you're starting, chances are you're an amazing baseball player. Am I wrong?
If you're on the U.S. team, yeah, you're right.
Okay,
You are
I'm
not
right.
wrong.
So chances are you're already making bank.
You're 7
Well,
digits.
Yeah. Well, okay, it
But-
makes more sense for me for a guy like Giancarlo to play on WBC team than Bryce Harper, because Giancarlo already got paid. Bryce needs to get paid.
Yeah, but it
But-
doesn't matter if Bryce goes to the WBC and gets hurt.
Then he doesn't get paid.
No, he's not gonna not get paid because we've seen
Not
Bryce
as
win an
much.
MVP as a 22-year-old, and
If he-
everybody knows what he can do.
If he, I don't know, you're not always the same after a big injury.
Derrick Rose,
Yeah.
Jack Powers, you know.
Grant Hill.
Dude, I used to throw 97, now I'm down to like 94.
Michael Brantley.
I will kill you.
But so here's the thing though. We talk about this. We talk about all this like, okay, he really is about. There's about to be a homicide in Studio 99.
If you hear gunshots,
you-
call for help.
It won't be live though. You'll be too late.
Yeah, you can
Don't-
call. There
don't.
won't be an answer.
So anyway, so we talk about this as outsiders looking in. You know, we say, okay, Giancarlo
Would you say
Stanton's-
we talk about this as outcasts?
Yeah, well, you know, we're looking in on this and we're saying, okay, Giancarlo's already getting paid, okay, but we just have this kind of flippant attitude towards hundreds of millions of dollars because we're not making it. You know, our decisions aren't directly correlated to whether or not we get paid hundreds of millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
So Giancarlo, I commend him for playing in the World Baseball Classic. Great. So a guy like Bryce Harper, let's just assume he's going to get a huge contract because he will.
Okay.
So if he has it, you know, there's added risk to playing outside of your league that might limit your ability to produce.
How?
Earning
How would playing in the WBC
If you get-
limit
if he
Bryce
get-
Harper?
if he gets hurt.
He's still
in the
gonna
World
get a,
Baseball
he's still
Classic.
going to get a 350
So if-
plus contract. $1
But
million contract.
so again, we can throw out this. He's getting $300 million, but to Bryce Harper, $300 million is he's the one getting it. So it's a very, very, very different mindset. If
It's
you're
his
the one,
money, not our money.
it's his money. Why would you add extra risk to potentially losing that money or not making as much money as you could. Okay.
I see, but
So it's the difference between a $250 million contract and a $275 million contract. Okay, we throw those numbers out because it doesn't seem like a big deal, but for the person actually making that money, that's another $25 million you could be making if you don't get hurt playing outside of your team.
But honestly, is there a difference at that point?
We can ask. I don't know. I've never
with
made
you
that
on
much
this,
money.
we can't, claim that. But
Well, that's
I
okay.
still feel like you could still get hurt at spring training or there's other
Well,
risks.
So,
spring training games aren't as intense.
But
though.
there's
Even
also
if-
there's
Right,
a
I know,
difference.
I get that, but there's still the probability that you can get hurt. The Mets catcher
Like,
this year got taken out and injured his
spring
knee.
training, the Indians wouldn't use Andrew Miller for a 6-out save in spring training
Right.
against
But
MLB All-Stars.
There's also a difference
Right.
between getting hurt for your team and getting hurt for another team you're playing on. It's like when NBA players are told not to play any kind of competitive pickup basketball in the off season if they're not going to be
Right, well-
that's not affiliated with their NBA team.
Right, because their team's giving you all this money. You're not going to get hurt. We want
Right.
you on the
So you get like the Nationals organization. They're let's say some organizations paying Bryce Harper $300 million over however many years. You're like, okay, we're protecting our investment here. Don't go out and do extra stuff that could potentially get you hurt, because then we'd be paying you $300 million to ride the pine.
Well, you know what I think is kind of weird? So
The Yankees are dumb, and A-Rod should just go home.
Shut up.
forever.
27
Different
rings
story.
speaks for itself.
We're not
before
starting
that,
this
and people
debate.
could play. So anyway,
That's a percentage of rings.
so what I find weird is that there are the Sonny Grays and the Russell Martins who wanted to play in the WBC, but their insurance company denied it because their contracts get insured.
Yeah. Well, a lot of teams will, like MLB teams, will reach agreements with like the USA Baseball and say Marcus Stroman is only allowed to pitch this many
Yeah, that's not,
pitches or this many innings.
Well, the first round has a pitch limit.
Yes, I understand. That's like but that's the World Baseball Classic pitch limit.
it's that limit, and then there's the
There's
team
stuff
limit.
there's stuff behind the scenes that we don't see that are making players not be able to play. Like there's got to be something in there about pick a guy like
Yoenis Cespedes. He's not allowed to play World Series with the World Baseball Classic.
and the World Series because they won't make it, but that's all right.
They will be in the World Series.
No, they won't.
No.
Okay.
But
Remember the statement.
in the World Baseball Classic, they have their own regulations set up to protect their players, to protect the players playing there, because there's also other professional leagues in the other countries. I mean, the Korean Baseball League, I'm sure, has similar deals with the World Baseball Classic about protecting their players who are playing for their team.
All right. Well, that's enough about this whole issue because, frankly, I could care less about Bryce Harper. I could care less about how many millions of dollars these people are making. I just want them to represent their country and make this close to Olympic baseball / World Cup as possible.
I
Um,
agree.
Moving on, Israel.
Woo!
Casey was
The
here.
Jew crew.
The mensch on the bench.
We are allowed to say this because
They wear shirts that say it.
they
They
wear
embrace-
We're
shirts.
just reading their shirts.
They embrace the stereotype.
Anyway, this is what is the plural for Israel? Israel.
Israelis.
It's
The
Israeli.
Israelis.
team.
Israelis.
The Israeli team is 3-0. Casey
No, now 4-0 actually. They
Yeah,
won
they
this
beat
morning.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were in the second round. They beat Cuba today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was the final score of that game?
4-1, I think.
So
Yep.
if they beat the Netherlands in their next game or Japan and go 2-1 again, they will likely be moving on to what would that be, the semis?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so that could be interesting.
Wow.
What's
So big league tie. Ty
Big league
Kelly.
tie.
Ike Davis.
They're doing it. The impressive thing about Israel is you look at their lineup. There's no one that really catches your eye.
But they're doing it all together. We're
Yeah,
talking
it's a
about like
total team effort.
we were talking about how Duke feeds off of each other and doesn't have one standout player, and Israel's the Duke of.
They're fun to watch. They're like the underdog.
Except I like them. I
Yeah.
like Israel.
And
I
they
don't like
they
Duke.
also don't have a bunch of jerks on their team.
They don't
so
trip
that-
people or anything like that.
But this is a good Cinderella story. We're in the season of March Madness, and this is a good Cinderella story. I'd love to see how far this Israel team can go.
Yeah, they're playing good baseball. I mean,
At the rate the United States is playing, they're not going to be in the tournament for much longer. So I'm pulling hardcore for Israel. So
I can.
as
dig
am
that.
I. Hey, Ty Kelly. Big league tie.
Let's jump back to. I mean, there's not really anything else to talk about Israel. They're 3-0 and tearing it up, 4-0 and tearing it up right now.
Let's talk about another surprise team. What about Italy?
Oh,
I didn't know much about it. Like I didn't know much about Italy. I didn't expect them to be
Italians.
that good. Their first game against Mexico, they come back from 5 down in the bottom of the 9th to win the game. And then their second game yesterday, they played an incredibly loaded Venezuelan team. They kept bringing the game back. They were down to their final strike in the 9th inning.
and then they had a
Gavin Cecchini from the Mets,
give a little bloop
RBI
single.
single. They take him to extra innings. They end up losing, 11 to 10?
Yeah, because Salvador Perez. Oh, was that in the 9th inning that he smashed
Yeah,
that home run?
he hit it in the 9th. He got injured on the last play of the game. Not Israel.
Not the last play of the game.
In the 9th. Italy tried to send a runner home to win the game.
Drew Butera, who is on the Royals.
He's
Tr-
not a speedster.
No, he's
He's
not.
about
They missed-
40 feet.
Well, they missed,
Yeah, but they were
missed the
sending
cut.
them all.
That's why Frankie got hurt. That's why K-Rod got hurt, because the throw missed the cut. So K-Rod had to pick the ball up and throw it home. That's why he got injured on
What
the
did
play.
he even
He
injure?
pulled his groin. And then Salvador Perez, the Butera, comes running in and hits Perez, and that's how Perez got
Right
hurt.
in the knee. It was actually a horrible slide. He kind of just like stopped and rolled a little,
Yeah.
and Salvador Perez's knee just went.
But anyway, that was a really good game, and Italy shown that they can actually play baseball, and they back and forth.
Well, they got
They-
some guys that have seen a lot of MLB experience.
They-
Cervelli,
That's
Da-
Cervelli.
Danny Del Scalzo.
They do the
It's
same
not-
thing as the Netherlands. They take people not from Italy and put them on their team.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what most of these teams
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I
Manny
mean, Nolan
Machado-
Arenado can play for Puerto Rico.
But
Manny-
he's American.
Manny
You know-
Machado,
you know
not
what
from the
bothers me?
DR,
Yeah.
plays for the DR.
Dylan Betances and Manny Machado should be on Team USA.
It's,
Oh,
it's
how
a
about
really
this?
Weird
How about this?
it
If
works.
Manny Machado's not on the DR, does USA win the game against the
They
DR?
could put Machado at
No.
shortstop.
I say yes because that literally the stadium was dead until Machado hit that home run, and then everything was like, oh, we're gonna win.
Well, it might be somebody else. We don't know. We can't be sure. Okay?
We can't play the
be
what-ifs.
sure.
Yeah, but it helps when somebody hits a 435-foot home run.
It generally helps
And
when Manny
pimps
Machado's
the
on your
back
team.
window.
Yeah.
back window was open.
By the way, let's talk about the jewelry on some of these guys. WBC brings out some thick chains and
Pearls, apparently. Was it Machado? rocking the
Machado was
pearls?
rocking the all pearl necklace today. Just looking.
I don't know how I
fly.
feel. I don't know how I feel about the pearls.
I mean, I would not prefer to wear a 20-pound necklace
Yeah,
that weighs
just-
me down, but if you're
Machado
Machado,
was also rocking a big old diamond earring the other night.
Yeah,
I-
two of them.
I generally just don't understand how you can play baseball with a ton of jewelry on.
yeah, but I feel like that's just the Latin.
Yeah, I agree. But even like some of the American guys, like I don't like the way the necklaces bounce around on your chest when you're running or.
Well, Jackson have to get used to that. He's got Slam Tanner, who's got a big, thick,
Dude, Santana's always had the big, thick.
and then
And
also
big-
It's like David
And you
Ortiz.
got
Yeah, but
Edwin
he doesn't
now.
run.
Does Edwin have
so
Edwin
I
has
don't
a chain.
Frankie does.
Yeah,
Lindor
Frankie
does.
always wears a chain. I don't care. It looks nice when they're running around
our
the
good old,
bases.
our good old
I
pal
think it's
Zach
fine.
Ives here has a giant chain too. So
Yeah.
Giant.
Cespedes has a giant number 52 chain that flops around when
Cespedes
he runs
has
around
the
the
biggest.
bases. Cespedes has a pretty big
Cespedes
There it
is
is.
easily the biggest.
Yep, there's a picture of him.
Yeah.
somebody should rock the Flava Flav clock one game.
Who would be? I could see like. Would it be better done as a joke? Someone wear a big chain, like a ridiculous chain, as a joke. I could see someone. Well, like what if Ty Kelly showed up next game?
That'd be funny.
Huge.
So, you
chain.
know what was cool that I liked? Not chains, but the arm sleeves have been impressive.
Oh, the
John
American-
Carlo with
yeah.
the
John
American
Carlos.
flag.
I can get behind the arm
And
sleeves.
someone from Israel had a huge one that had a big one that said Israel on it and has their
Yeah.
colors going. That was kind of cool. There's been some nice apparel in the WBC.
Lots of flashy colors.
Lots of
Uniforms,
flashy players.
uniforms
Jersey
included.
game is on fire.
We're gonna jump into some segments before we start to wrap things up. First, we're gonna let Jack do his little rant that we
Off
give
the
him.
leash.
Off the leash. That's what we're calling it now. Hope that's not TM'd or anything. You have 45
Politically
seconds.
incorrect.
Off the leash with Jack Powers.
Does Jack know what he wants to rant about?
I'm just gonna talk about the WBC as a whole.
Okay, well, we're gonna lower the microphone to you here, and 45
Turn your
seconds
volume
starts
down now. Here we
now.
go.
I mean, the only thing about the WBC that I don't like is I already kind of touched upon this. It gets people who are not ready to play fully playing in full games. So, like I already said, Andrew Miller was not remotely ready to try to go 2 innings like it was a World Series game against a Dominican team that freaking is an all-star team. Like he was set up to fail. Leland also said the day before, Andrew Miller is my closer. He will go 1 inning, which So was the plan for Miller to go the 8th, and then Jake McGee or Sam Dyson to come in and finish it out? There's too much health risks in the WBC for me to want my best relief pitcher, arguably ever, to be
Done.
in it.
That was a good one.
Good timing. I liked it. You weren't going
That
crazy.
was a good point, though. Made a good point.
I agree with what you say.
Can
Next segment is Where in the World is BJ Upton?
Woo!
Nobody
And-
knows.
And
Oh, do you have names?
yeah, I have names, but we
Okay.
just call the segment Where in the World is BJ Upton.
Okay, let's do it.
So this may shock you guys, but I'm legitimately confused. I know he's jumped around the same two teams a lot, but where the heck is Ian Kinsler?
Tigers.
Are you
Tigers.
kidding me?
He's on the Tigers.
He is?
He's been on the
He's
Tigers
on
for like
the
5
Been on
years.
for 5 years.
Currently,
No way.
he's on Team
Yeah.
USA.
He
but
was
yes,
definitely
he's
on the
Tigers.
Rangers
Yeah,
for
a couple years ago.
he was the
Prince
Fielder
Fielder
trade.
trade. It was
No.
Kinsler for Fielder.
The last time that trade happened, Prince Fielder was still in the major leagues. That's how
No.
old this trade was.
Kinsler trade. It was
It was for Prince
Like
Fielder.
2013.
no way.
Yeah.
You're gonna get all these
Did
rumors.
you just come out from under a rock or something? We're gonna get chirped.
How are we gonna get chirped?
Well,
Because we look like we're not baseball fans.
No, but this is
I think we've pretty much established that at least some of us
He's
are.
been on the team for 3 years. Okay, you guys are right. Okay.
Never wrong.
Okay, I just wanted to check up. I thought
Okay.
that was the case, but I didn't know.
Okay.
I
No,
do
you're
have
fine.
another one
Okay.
in case we want to.
Oh, we
Let's do
want it.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should I think should we wait?
No.
Do it.
I feel like an idiot though when I do this. This isn't
Come on.
very
That's
fun.
Come on,
okay.
it's okay. We'll be more.
We
nice.
don't care. Jake knows all these answers. He's quizzing us.
Okay.
You're
Where in the
covered.
world is Pedro Alvarez?
Orioles minor league deal.
He
It's an
just
outfielder.
signed that
That is
deal.
true.
Buster
That is
only
true.
just reported that last night.
Learn something new every
He's
day.
playing outfield now.
Really?
I'm surprised it took him so long to get a deal.
Dude,
by the way.
he had 22 homers.
Was that
and
a better one?
249
I feel like
Something
nobody
like
really
That
that.
was
That
that
was
was a
better
pretty
one.
good
That
one.
was
Yeah,
But he
I mean
just
that's
signed.
a brand new deal right there. So
I can't believe no one wanted him until just now.
Well, because his metrics, man.
Yeah, that's bad. He's bad.
Yeah, but 22 home runs. And
are
his
we gonna
average
do
was
our
horrible.
metrics?
Yeah.
Are we gonna
Do
do
you
our
remember that
metrics
one
talk?
season when the Pirates made it to the wild card game and then got?
Like
Brandon
normal.
Crawford.
I mean, they always lose in the wild card game, but yeah, was it that game?
The Grand Slam. Was it? I don't
Maybe
know.
I don't know, but that season Pedro Alvarez.
Yeah.
It was.
And then they knocked
Polanco's
him
like
down.
second year in the league.
Yeah, and Alvarez was a monster.
Alvarez was a monster. McCutcheon was an MVP candidate. Oh yeah, sleep on McCutcheon coming back and doing big things. I think he's due for another very good year. He's a good player.
They're gonna trade him at the All-Star.
He's
break.
riding
Or
pine on
trade
Team
deadline.
USA.
No, because they don't put their best team out.
Okay.
They
Moving
play
on.
Eric Hosmer, thus taking a spot away from someone like McCutcheon.
We're not gonna
Or-
start this now.
Or
The
Danny
look
Murray.
on
not
Jake
gonna start
Shelley's
this now.
face
Eric
as
Hosmer
Jack
and
Power
Jonathan
says that.
Lucroy should not play when Paul Goldschmidt and Buster Posey are on the team.
I can
We
get
can
behind
all
Lucroy.
agree on
I
that.
don't
Yeah,
think
okay, but
Hosmer
I
is as
think-
big a liability as you're acting like
He's
he
not
is.
compared to Goldschmidt.
He's defensively better than Goldschmidt.
He's defensively better.
Defensive run save -9.
You know what I found out about not Hosmer, about Goldschmidt last night? The dude stole 30 plus bases last year.
Because
Yeah,
he
and
is
nobody
an
gave him the MVP.
all-around player.
He's so overlooked.
yeah,
I had no idea.
But this is what we start to see. He's overlooked because he's on the Diamondbacks.
Exactly.
And the Diamondbacks are who? Nothing. The one team that failed because they went out and
They have a man by the name of Zach Greinke.
Whose velocity is
The
like
Granks.
87 right now.
Who?
Yeah.
No, wait up. Shelby Miller.
awful.
Who had about 3 wins last year.
Okay. Now let's stop.
We're gonna wrap things up here. I just want to do a couple more. I want to give you guys a few stats from spring training. Your boy Danny Salazar is at the top of
Yeah,
this
he's
list.
good. He's good.
10.1 innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, a 2.61 ERA, and an opponent's batting average of 167. So
Danny Salazar has been awfully cocky this spring. Every interview he does, he's like basically starts it off. If healthy, the Indians have the best rotation in baseball, which I don't even agree with.
It's the Mets.
The Indians are a top 3 to 5 rotation, but they're the Mets.
You think the Red Sox are better? No.
the Red Sox are awful.
Rotation?
Yeah,
Price is gone.
Well, I see. Okay,
Price is not gone.
He's not
The
gone.
Red Sox
He's
have
gonna,
a very
he's gonna
good
pitch his
rotation.
first start of the
He
season.
threw the other day.
he might be a time bomb.
yeah.
If
He
he'll-
is
he'll
definitely
be-
a time bomb. But
Price is not right for
But I
Boston.
don't get. Porcello had a.
Porcello
enough
is
with the
going to
Bob
regress.
Barker jokes.
Are you
Porcello-
talking about the Cy Young winner?
He's going to regress.
Verlander?
Parcello? What?
He's
Red
going to
Sox-
regress a lot.
Let me just end this conversation once and for
Roberto
all. The
Perez
Mets
hit a
have
home
the
run.
best
Yeah, I agree with
rotation.
that. As long as they stay healthy, it would not shock me if they didn't end up with the best rotation.
There's some history with injuries in that rotation.
Significant history.
Here's a stat for
Recent
you.
history.
Taiwan Walker, he's 1-0 in the spring. 9 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts, 0.00 ERA, and an opponent's batting average of 100. That man is going to be elite
I hope so.
in like
That'll be
2 or 3
interesting.
years.
Or now.
Let's take a look at.
Looks like he's elite now.
But I don't know. These spring training stats, they don't.
Again, yeah,
mean
he's not going
They
against
don't, and
top
I know,
lineups.
but I'm showing what's at
Yeah,
the
no,
top
no.
of the
it's
the
not-
list. Henry Owens for the Red Sox. He's 0-3 with a
Owen.
with
Henry
a
0-3.
15
Wait, was that their postseason record last year too? I believe.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah, but how was your World Series record?
How was your
Wait, wouldn't it be
early
0-4?
exit from the
No,
playoffs?
ALDS 5.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Probably felt a little better than the Indians' exit from the World Series.
I'll give you a hint. It felt better than the Mets one.
Okay, that's not. Wow.
Next.
Are you really trying to say that you would rather lose in the
Stop.
Next.
Henry Owens 0-3 with a 15.95 ERA in 7.1 innings pitched. Mike Pelfrey on the Tigers. I
So
knew where he
bad.
was.
I didn't know.
0 for 3, or 0 wins, 3 losses, 12.00 ERA, 6 innings pitched.
I remember when
And
he
then
was
how
the
about
Mets
this?
top pitching
You guys
prospect.
remember the trade that the Red Sox made when they got rid of Moncada
Yeah,
for
top prospect in baseball.
sale? Oh, 4 errors in spring, and he's hitting a solid 217.
Well, he's still
Training doesn't matter.
He's like 20, right? Yeah, he's not
So
gonna
is
open in the
Andujar.
big leagues.
He has this thing called upside.
Andujar,
The hell
the
is that?
Yankees third baseman.
Yeah, he's
He
not.
went over
He's not that
300.
notable.
Okay, but
Well, he's-
once again, we come back to the same point every time. It's spring training.
And
Yeah.
also Moncada
I know.
is very
I
young.
literally just said that the
Yeah, I
point
know.
that I'm doing this is to show some stats.
Yeah.
Okay,
I-
next stat.
Here's one for you. Nick Hundley, the Giants acquired him in the offseason,
Yeah.
I believe.
Good acquisition.
Posey. It's gonna be cool when Hundley catches Posey at first, Belt and left.
That's an interesting lineup. Put that.
They
in
don't
your
Only
have
problem
Smith
is if Hundley's catching, everybody's just gonna run on him.
See, but
He's given up 11 stolen,
sto-
lost the ball.
11 stolen bases already.
stolen bases aren't necessarily always. They're not the catcher's fault most of the time.
That is true. Like Syndergaard, for example,
Yeah.
like slowest to the plate. in baseball.
Yadier Molina could be Syndergaard's catcher, and he'd only throw out like 20% of runners.
Yeah.
Just because it's
I agree.
all about release.
I'm just
so
saying,
I don't know
11.
who's pitching.
However,
behind.
11 stolen bases while he's been catching.
And it hasn't just been one person.
But what if he's working on not necessarily trying to
But
be as
framing?
quick as possible?
Maybe
yeah,
just framing?
working on framing.
After
first.
all,
like, there's-
coming back to the major theme, it is just spring
training.
like Corey Kluber got shelled in his first start of the spring training.
How many runs did he give up?
And I think it's 6 or 8. He either gave up 6 hits, 8 runs, or 8 hits for 6 runs. One of the two. He walked a lot of people.
Okay. But hey, it's spring training.
It didn't matter. Mickey Callaway, pitching coach. All pitching coaches do this. They
He's a
say,
good
they
pitching
say
coach, by the
work
way.
on one thing. That game.
Do you know
So,
why?
Corey Kluber was trying to throw strikes down the middle.
Spring training.
Yep.
Spring training.
Tanaka also
well-
had a perfect game through 4.
It's spring training.
Just so y'all know,
Tanaka's
God, Yankee
good.
fans.
he has had a good spring.
Oh,
Because he's had a good career. He's good at baseball. He is a legitimate ace. He's the only.
Except
good
when
pitcher
he's facing the
Yankees have.
Astros, like he gets shelled when they play the
CC
Astros.
Sabathia's the ace of the staff.
Okay.
Yep.
Luis Severino,
That's funny.
Michael Pine Tar Pineda.
That's going
Chuckle.
to do it for this edition of the Outcast Podcast MLB/WBC edition. I'm just going to title this one MLB because everybody in the WBC is playing in the MLB pretty much. There's still snow on the ground, which is sad.
You're a month away.
There will
Opening
not be much
to the day.
baseball in upstate New York soon.
A month away from opening day. We're excited.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So sit back, enjoy the WBC, enjoy your spring training. As Yankee fans, enjoy winning while it lasts. And we will catch you next week.
Tweet us with anything you got.
Peace out, guys.
See ya.